Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinga,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback, feedback, feedback. Oh, and take us along with you. Always remember you can do that. Happy Monday to everybody. You know, Hood Research has been just out and about and here and there, and as we tell you each time we come on, we keep meeting new people, more people here and there. We really enjoy it and really appreciate you tuning in right here at WHPR, WHBS, each Monday morning from 9 a.m. until 10:30. Got to say good morning to Miss Farmer and Sister Fedora and Sister Charlene, Brother Derek and Carl. And we keep asking, Thabiti, we keep asking Carl to come on with us, you know.
Come on, Carl.
That's right.
We like you.
Gotta
You
come.
full of information.
Oh, definitely. You know, and Olivia and Ron and to just everybody. So, who you want to say hey to?
Shout outs to sisters Ruth Ann and Jackie, my street warriors. Got them hooked up now where they can see us. What's that, TV? The radio you can see.
Yes.
There you go.
Radio we can see. Yes.
And also, you can see us on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV. We covering all the bases. We're international, so shout outs to them. I want to give a special shout out. I'm holding up the picture now as well of my niece, Leela, who I was telling Theo just graduated from Howard Law School.
Yes.
So now we got our first lawyer in the family.
Yes.
And very proud of her. And love you, Leela. And just a shout out to all the family who were in D.C., Howard University. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful campus. So shout out to all the graduates and everyone. And let me just say this, that first I'll tell you have pen and paper handy as I always demonstrate, that you can write down names and numbers. And the number here are area code 313-365-7327. Again, it's 313-365-7327 or 365-7379. Again, that's 365-7379. Join the conversation with us. So, yes, join in with us, call us, and let's have a good conversation.
Absolutely. And there's so much that has been happening, but I just want to say also congratulations to your niece. That is fantastic. We need more lawyers within our community, and that's fantastic.
And since you mentioned that, Theo, I just want to say that I can't recall the lady who did the commencement speech, but that's one thing she suggested to the graduating law students, that if you're going to get into public service, if you're going to get into private practice, if you're going to get into politics, remember all of those who struggled before you to put you in this position, and never give up what we call our struggle for equity, because I found out that I think her name used to be Carol Mosley Braun,
Yeah.
but I think it's just Carol Mosley now. Something happened, and right now they're trying to send her to jail. And
What?
yeah, this is a very serious. She's got two daughters. I think one they said was 16. I'm not sure the other age, but some stuff that came up under the Trump era. Now they're trying to prosecute her, and she didn't really do anything wrong. But the thing is, it's unfortunate. Black women in particular, when you're outspoken, when you stand up for yourself, you become a real target for this country. So my point was just that we need all of our black lawyers to remember their heritage first, because you can get stopped by law enforcement or could be pursued by those with negative intention in politics, and you'll go down. So we have to advocate always for the interest of black people, because nobody else is going to do it.
Oh, wow. That is so true. I'm sad to hear that. You know, I think the same thing happened with C. Dolores Tucker, remember?
Yes.
When she was outspoken. and all she wanted to do was to give some dignity and respect to our community because of the lyrics in the rap music was just bringing us down, you know.
Maxine Waters as well
Yeah.
has been a target because she just speaks up, and they just don't think a black woman is out of her place to speak up. It's messed up too, but that's why we have to protect our black women.
That's right.
We have to.
You know, I got to interject here. The 25th anniversary of Hood Research had the distinct pleasure and honor to have Miss Jackson Lee and Sheila Jackson Lee as our keynote speaker at our luncheon. And
Very strong sister.
yes, yes, that was a wonderful afternoon. Mm. Wow, you know, yesterday there were some tidbits here and there, and it just seems to me that there is so much publicity given to the past president, and they even have the nerve to call him by that title, and he's no longer president. And in the courtroom, most of them call him Mr. Trump, you know, as opposed to the title that he once held.
Right.
And in the reporting that I see now, many continue to call him president, and he's no longer president. They don't say past president, you know. And I just wonder why he's not checked, because that's definitely wrong. And but the presentation that happened in New Jersey this past weekend was interesting. It started out, I'm told, with a lot of people in attendance, but as it continued, I think some people probably began to notice that his cognitive ability was waning, and they started leaving, not by the individual, but groups started leaving, but that's not reported, you know.
Now, you say this was New Jersey?
Yes, it's oh geez, what do they call it? It's some gathering spot along the river, ocean over there, and Trump's folks set up for him to, I guess, look like a rock star or something, and all he spends time doing is bashing President Biden and talking about things would be better with him, and then he started talking about the movie Silence of the Lamb and Hannibal Lecter and what Hannibal Lecter is doing. Hannibal Lecter did not exist. It was a fictional character in a movie.
So is he.
And that's a good point. But he was talking as if this person was alive and was killing people and eating people and just it was just going off into left field somewhere. I guess that would make a group of people leave.
Well, and you know, I have to say that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz and some of them crazies on the far right side, they say the same thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking about Jews and space lasers and all that kind of thing, and how Democrats are eating babies. So they just spin these crazy narratives, and there are people who follow them are even crazier.
Oh, wow, that's weird.
They are too.
Yeah, and then it was also announced that he's not gonna pick. Oh, geez, what's the lady's name? The one who was the governor of South Carolina.
No, Haley.
Haley, right. He has stated that he's not picking Haley for vice president. And in a few months, he doesn't have that long, but he's going to announce who he wants to be his vice president.
During the Republican convention. And what's kind of crazy, and what's interesting too now, when you say in New Jersey some people left, I'm curious, were they supporters who just felt like he had, his narrative was too raw, and they just said, well, look, we can't deal with this.
I don't think raw was a thing. I think it was crazy.
Yeah.
He was not making sense, and it was beginning to sound as if he was in the Twilight Zone, and I think perhaps that had a lot to do with people leaving.
One thing about what you said, when I think about because this has come up on some of the late night talk show host thing, is that you know how people were there a lot of times, his supporters. There hasn't been one supporter who's been in New York protesting or doing anything during this current trial he's got with Stormy Daniels. And his son, Eric, who is a knucklehead too, only came down once, so his children haven't even been there for daddy, so to speak, to support him. So it's very interesting going on.
Right, you're right. I do remember that being reported too, that nobody has been there to support him at the court hearings. And just the idea that there are still people who want to believe in him, it's amazing. But you know, a lot of money is being spent for people to follow him. And I keep hearing that black folks are being paid to make it appear as if the black community is in support of him, when that is not the truth. So I was glad to hear that reported.
And there was something, I just have vague sketches of certain things that have been said, but they have said that there was the Republican Party, now I'm not sure what state it was in, but the Republican Party was guilty of luring black voters out to give the impression, you know, paying them actually, you know, a little, like a stipend or something. Yeah, come on out, you know, we're people for Trump, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, they'll play every trick in the book because they got a dirty playbook.
That's true. I like that. A dirty
Yeah,
playbook.
yeah, they wrote the book on dirty play.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
Now, we know that mudslinging during campaigns has always been the case, but they've taken it to a new low, which is why they can say certain things about individuals. They don't even have to be true. Their followers are so naive that what they do is they'll just blurt it out as if it were true. Oh, he wouldn't lie to us, this, that, and the other. It's crazy. But, you know, America's been crazy for a long time.
True. And, you know, when I think about January the 6th, I think about two groups of people still. And there were those like the KKK, the Proud Boys, the whoever, the MAGA group and all of that, who came with arms, guns, knives, bricks, whatever else they were carrying. They were going to the Capitol on January the 6th, and they were going to be violent. They came prepared to be violent. But then there was this other group of people. They had no arms, but they were walking together up to the Capitol because they believed that the election was not right and that they should be there to protest and let the members of Congress know that they wanted a change to come. And they were calm. And they reminded me of the same kinds of people who followed Jim Jones to Guyana. And when the law caught up with him, Jim Jones, he had them all gather into this room, gave all of them a cup of Kool-Aid that was laced with poison, told them to drink, and they did. And if there was anyone who refused to, his security force would just shoot them. And that was supposed to be the end of all of the evidence against Jim Jones.
There have been mad leaders on various scales. I'm not sure who the leader was in this particular instance, but there was something called a Hale-Bopp comet, I believe it was, or asteroid, and it was supposed to smash into the earth and all kind of devastation. And there were like below 20 people. They were all dressed in black who followed the leaders, so to speak, and they all killed themselves because he said, well, you know, the asteroid or comet, whichever, is coming, and it's time for us to leave this planet now. So there have been various cult leaders over the centuries, actually, who have been able to fool their, deceive, or maybe they were just madmen anyway. You could look at Manson. There was the one with the Branch Dravidians when the government had to go in and firebomb them, that they were following somebody they considered their leader, cult figure, and whatever he said was gospel. And that's what the MAGA people are. Whatever he says, he can't do wrong. And I'll just say this briefly, I remember seeing on television, Jimmy Kimmel does this thing where he'll ask people out there on Hollywood Boulevard, yeah, what if, Biden did this, that, and the other? And then they'll say, yeah, he should be out of there for that. Say, oh, no, we made a mistake, it was Trump. They said, well, he's a man. So they quick to defend him when he did something wrong. But if the same thing had been done wrong by somebody else, then, of course, get rid of him, what do they say, kick him out. Mm-hmm. So we dealing with, Malcolm said it back in the 60s. I love Malcolm. He said, you're dealing with a crazy man. And he didn't lie.
I know. Oh, my goodness. Whew. There are two things, I may have mentioned this to you before, but there are two things that have only been mentioned, two things that I have only heard one time. And the first is this school in Texas, supposed to be, Trump University or Trump College or something. And young people were lured into that school, and it was found to be an illegitimate school. Had collected tuition from all of these young people. It was finally shut down. However, I've not heard if the students received all or any part of their tuition back. And it's extremely expensive to go to college these days. Then the second issue had to do with this beauty contest that he ran. And, when you hear about all of these sexual advances that he took with women anytime he felt like it, then it brings you back to the beauty contest. And the young ladies had to change clothes into various, outfits. And I have never seen or heard of anyone changing into a swimsuit without being naked. So there were so many young people in it, and you wonder, were they paid to keep quiet also?
That's interesting because since everything is going on, he's got 4 different courts that he's going to appear in. Mm-hmm. They were bringing up a lot about 45, Donald Duck Trump's pretty much trial and things going on where he had Trump steaks. I never heard of that before. He had Trump steaks. That fell. He had Trump vodka. that failed. And he also had a casino that failed. And what was pretty much being said is that everything he didn't put his hands on has failed. Had his daddy not left him like $400 million or whatever it was, which kind of got him going, he wouldn't be where he is now. And he was mentored by a man named Roy Cohn, who was defending some, let's say, mafia-type gangsters, and he had schooled Trump and Roger Stone, one of his buddies, Trump's buddies, on how to be ruthless in character. Always point the finger at somebody else. Always slander them. Do whatever you can to bring them down, because that'll make you look better. And of course, we know he gives names, Crooked Hillary, he gives names to people, but the whole thing was, it's sort of like propaganda. He was taught how to use propaganda effectively, which is why he has as many supporters as he has.
Oh, okay. That helps bring some more, I guess you might say, clarity to why the Jim Jones type people are still following him. But for the life of me, I just I just can't understand how a person can hear what's going on, hear what has happened, hear the things that he did, and the things that he has admitted to, things that are on tape that he has said, and still follow him. I mean, they must be desperate.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest, but it's a lot of cuckoos.
Oh, yeah.
And so far, there's nothing you can take forward. People who don't have a identity of self. One thing I'll say quickly is, like, the people who would follow the Klan, for instance, they don't have anything that they can cling to, so they find an ideology and follow that. It's similar to, I'd say, the young brothers out in California, Crips, Bloods, and other gang members. They don't have any structure, so they look for somebody to give them a sense of identity and purpose, and then even though they're out there doing drive-bys, for them it gives them an identity to feel like they're somebody. And unfortunately, we're finding that there's a lot of people who don't mind being led or misled. They just don't care.
Oh, okay. Well, that would answer it. It's sad. And I have a concern about the young adults, the college students, and their ideas of what is and what should go on in the world. Unfortunately, our K through 12 curriculum has not been adequate, in my opinion. I'm hearing that cursive, which had been eliminated from the classroom, God only knows why somebody would do that dumb thing, but it has been restored, and now the students K through 12 have to learn cursive.
And rightly they should. And we're coming up on the bottom of the hour. Can you believe it?
Oh, man. So
Yes.
quickly. Well, all of you just remember, if you're enjoying your orange juice or your coffee or tea this morning, get a little refresher and call someone and tell them they can tune in to Radio We Can See. And we'll be back momentarily.
I'm James Ford, founder of the Obama Weekend, and a partner of the Hood Research Team, composed of the knowledgeable Theo Broden, the super analyst Henry, and the colorful Al Martin. This team discusses politics, seen and not seen, at the national, state, and local level. But to enhance the goals of this team, join or donate to Hood Research by visiting Twitter or Facebook, or visit hoodresearch.org, or call 248-234-2371. You can also join Hood Research on Phonecast every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by calling 978-990-5000, access code 338-729. Thank you very much.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
Everybody settle. Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, you gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime. It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome our first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallnut.
Wally Wallnut here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the chew germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am the BDM Pinda,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback. And remember, you can always take us along with you. And know that when we're on, you can go to Radio We Can See. We're backing out, and we have with us our guest, James Ford. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. James Ford.
Thank you for having me here.
Certainly. Tell our viewers, who is James Ford?
Well, James Ford is a gentleman that I really love my people, and I'll do a lot, and I'll go out my way, and I'll overextend myself sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, to show it. That's all.
Mm-hmm. You go way out of your way, even in the wintertime, as a snowbird. And I know that you have had opportunities to talk with people in Alabama, in Florida, in Texas, Georgia, and tell us about the issue that you are passionate about at this time.
At this time, I'll be very honest with you. There's a lot of blood being let out in the streets, or put it like this, coming out of people's bodies, as a result of car accidents and car wrecks. There are 1,123 people killed in Michigan a year, which is 56 a week.
56
Now,
a week.
and there are 126 people killed in Detroit a year, which is 3 a week. That's not even talking about the 560 people that's crippled and maimed a year, or what should we say, a month, that's put in wheelchairs and won't walk again. That's a lot going on in the state. And I tell you, that's something that we're going to have to deal with. We're going to have to stand up, or we're going to get ran down, because it's escalating. As a matter of fact, it's escalating throughout the United States, because the flyer that I have out now was produced in Florida. And the gentleman in Florida didn't charge me anything, because he said, I want this to get over in Michigan. Because it's happening in Florida also. It's happening in definitely in Miami. It's happening in Nashville, Louisville, and other places around the country. And it's growing. It's growing. And the people in Detroit, the people in Michigan will be the first people to step up and say enough is enough. You know, there are people that are completely disrespecting the law. This is the first step to say, I'm going to completely disrespect the law. And if you do this, that means that years from now, people just say, well, there's a lock on that door there, and I'm going to just come in. Or I'm going to come in your backyard even though there's a fence. Because you see a red light there, and we're not talking about just catching the end of a yellow light. You see that red light there, and you're out 30, 40 feet, but you say, I'm going to ignore it. Okay, that's wrong. You actually, who hasn't did 5 over, or 6 over the speed limit, but when you're doing 55 over, that's taking it, that's too much. So we got to step up and try to do something about this. And not only that, hallucinated driving, whatever it is. I don't care if it's marijuana. I don't care if it's hookah. I don't care if it's whatever this new drug is out, fentanyl. You got to be responsible. Because when you put that in your body, you knew that you were going to drive that car. And now, some states are working on ways to, when they pull you over, to see if you have a substance in your body, you're going to have to pay the price for having that substance in your body. In other words, you know you want this hookah, or you know you got this in your body, fentanyl, or whatever you got. Well, you're going to have to pay the price. Now, there's a law in Texas that say if you hit somebody, you maim them, you got to take care of their family for the rest of their life. And you got to take care of the person you injured. So those are things that may be or may have to carry over all over the country, because this is the first step in disrespecting the law. And that's what I think that you, speaking at the rally we're going to have September 18th in Lansing, you're going to address the first complete disrespect of the law. And then Michelle George will talk about substances in the body along with other people. This is terrible. We can't take any more. Enough is enough.
One thing I like to add, Brother Ford, and we have to really get law enforcement as well to enforce these things. I've seen law enforcement too negligent in doing their job, some of it visible right in front of them. I have been over the last month, I've seen a few violations. The police were either in the area, I don't know if they were on their phones, which I find some violating that law too, although they say they want to enforce it. But back to the red light, the people who are being killed and injured for life, we have to have the police completely involved in enforcing the law, because if we got laws on the book and they're not being enforced, people just feel they have a free hand to do whatever they want. And so they have to know the hammer has to come down, the gavel has to come down, whatever, and they have to know that, look, time up for that.
Well, it's incumbent that everybody, on September 18th, there shouldn't be too many people in Detroit. Everybody should be in Lansing talking about what's going on. Because I'm going to tell you, your children are riding in these cars, and they are in the back seats. You got school buses. I was on Mac over there by the plant. I saw two 18-wheelers blow a red light in 2 different days. 2 18-wheelers, and that is an area where there's a lot of school buses because of Kivaline Village is over there, and Marcus Garvey Academy, the Barack Obama Academy. That's a heavily populated area for school children. You got 18-wheelers blowing red lights now. This is too much. If there had been a driver coming down and these 18-wheelers had blown these red lights while that driver was there, the driver would have been decapitated, and anybody else in the car would, because that he would have slammed right into those 18-wheelers. There is going to have to be something done. Now, I would tell all the people in Detroit this. You can sit back and you can say, well, we're just going to see what's going to happen on September 18th. No, I think you better get up there. Because every time I call the director of events there, she calls me back in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometime maybe an hour, or she definitely get back with me the next day. They want us to come. You don't miss out on an opportunity to go somewhere and voice your opinion. Now, I'm a straightforward gentleman, and everybody know me for that around the city. I'm not going to say that we're going to definitely capitalize on this moment, but it will plant a seed. I will say, let's go, and let's see what happens. If there are people that are planning on going to the moon and made plans to stay and live there for the rest of their life, and they're saying, well, we don't care what happened, we're just going to see, we're going to try, we're going to get out of here. Well, I know we can go to Lansing. So I want everybody in Detroit to remember that. You got to try something. You're in that situation where you've got to try something. This is not going to be a lifelong event for me. I'm going to plant a seed. I want everybody to go. You can follow up on years coming up or whatever you want to do, but we got to go to Lansing.
Brother Ford, can you give them contact information so they can become a part of this?
Yes, people can call me at 586-918-3061. People can call me again at 586-918-3061. And I will say this. There's a bus that's going to leave Burt's Warehouse that morning of September 18th. We would hope that you would be on that bus. It's only $35 now to catch that bus, go to Lansing, get off. You won't have to pay any parking. You can ride, you can have a sandwich, you can do, and you'll be with the group. And there will be cars and everything else going. But I think that you should get on the bus because you're going to park right in front of the state capitol and walk. And the other thing I want to say to everybody that want to drag their feet, you going down to the casino, I'm straightforward, and you go in and get in the scratch-off line and you scratching off. Well, you're going to be scratched off if you don't go to Lansing because people are going to run over you. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And remember this, your relatives come into this city. They do not know how to count 1, 2, 3. So you setting up your relatives for what you might call to be in harm's way. You have got to go to Lansing. It's very important. This is a day you don't want to miss because, as I said at the police commissioners meeting, and I've asked to speak to the mayor. I spoke to the police commissioner and I spoke to the city council. But I got to keep moving. I'm a soldier. So I'm going to just say this. You must go to Lansing and let your voice be heard. They are waiting for you.
Can you give us the date again and what day?
That's
is
going to
the
be
date?
that's Wednesday. It's going to be on a Wednesday.
Okay.
September 18th.
Okay. And the gathering?
And the
and
gathering,
the
they're going to
time?
meet at Burt's Warehouse. We're going to meet at Burt's Warehouse. But if you live in another place other than Detroit, you just drive to Lansing. If you live in Romulus, if you live in Sterling Heights or something, you don't have to come. You just drive there. If you live in Port Huron, we're going to have people from all over. Now, I want to let everybody know. I'm contacting Mothers Against Drunk Driving. I'm contacting everybody that has. As a matter of fact, I will be trying to talk to the police commissioners in Royal Oak. I will be trying to talk to the police commissioners all over. This is not a Detroit thing because a couple of weeks ago, somebody, I can't think of the city right now, a couple of people were killed. And before I left to go to Florida, and while I was actually in Africa, I heard about some people getting killed right in Grosse Pointe. This is big. Now, I will say this. It's not being reported by the Detroit papers. The city of Detroit is not being straightforward, and it's happening. This is no different than the Flint water crisis. Mm-hmm. It's happening. And we can't look over it. I'm going to put it out there. I want everybody else to put it out there. And I would also encourage, and I'm asking, the pastors. Pastors, your job is to protect your flocks. Your job is to tell your flocks and keep them out of harm's way. Pastors, if you can get some buses and cars to go to Lansing, that's what you should be doing. Because this is serious. Those are your flocks. Matter of fact, if you go to a church, ask your pastor, why aren't you going to Lansing? Mm-hmm. Just ask them. Mm-hmm. I think that's very important. You can have your own bus. And also, if there's a pastor out here that's willing to join, I would appreciate it. And everybody in Detroit would appreciate it. Have a prayer breakfast on that Tuesday. We're going to Lansing Wednesday. Have a prayer breakfast on Tuesday to just let people know that this is what's happening and it's very important. And also, if you go to Lansing, if you have anything red, I don't care if it's a red belt buckle, if you have a red bow tie, if you have a red tie, some earrings, wear something red too. Just show the blood that's running in the streets of Detroit. This is serious.
I've got a question too, and I may have missed your answer on that. I know that they're meeting at Burt's. What time should they be there?
Well, we're going to meet on that Wednesday, September 18th at Burt's at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
We got to be at Lansing at 11 o'clock because the agenda will start at 12 o'clock. And also, you can bring your lawn chairs. You can do whatever you want. We're going to have a situation and try to make it known around the state and the nation that we are not comfortable with what's going on in Detroit.
Are you going to address the drivers who speed and get to a intersection and they do little car tricks, wheelies or whatever they call them. Are you addressing that as well?
Well, that right there is is something that, I'll put it this way. I'm going to, and I hope that the speakers, the other speakers, right now, it's yourself, Michelle George, and me, but I'm going to be adding other people. And I want everybody to understand this is something that I want all nationalities to join into. This is not just what you might call a one nationality thing. You got all type of races living in this city. And when a car hits you, it doesn't care what you are. And it don't care how much money you have or what neighborhood you live in. And just because you live in Bloomfield Hills, you can be driving through Detroit, or your husband could be driving through Detroit, or your wife, and get hit. So don't stay out there and say, well, that's happening down in Detroit, and I don't care, and, whatever. I think that people better start taking this serious. This is an issue. Yes, I will, and just to finalize what you asked about that question, yes, that is a problem. As a matter of fact, people that do that and get away with it or think they're going to get away with it, well, if they want to try that after we get back from Lansing in subsequent months, after they think about it, they may have some problems with their driver's license, or they may have some problems paying some fines. When you completely disrespect the law, your ticket may be a little higher. You might get your car, if you don't want to pay the ticket, impounded. You may end up doing some service time in the city, which we definitely need, community service. So we're going to Lansing to stop this, or at least we're going to Lansing to bring this to an end. Enough is enough.
And I want to also bring in the idea or thought, because I pick my granddaughter up every day from school. Now, they have those signs where they show that children are crossing. And I sit there, I usually get there ahead of time so I can have a good parking space. But I've noticed that where some people will, but there's a sign right there at the intersection that has, two children walking across the street. We've all seen them, and they're holding their books. And some people could care less whether they see the sign or not. They blow through it. I've seen buses that are either allowing students to discharge, and they put the sign out on the side. They got the little light on the side of the bus that lets traffic know both ways that they're supposed to stop. And there's some people, like myself, who stop because they understand that you're supposed to do that for the school buses. And I've seen others who will go right around a stopped person, don't care whether it's children getting off or not. And as we know, the children, let's say they're not mature enough to, even though we tell them to look both ways before you cross the street, the impulsive nature of children, they end up running across the street anyway. That's just what they do. They're children. They're not, schooled or mature enough. And the other thing I would just add too, along with them not only blowing red lights and blowing stop signs, as I said, or not giving any regard to students when you have that sign that says this is a school crossing. I've seen cars maybe a block or two away doing those donuts as well. So, all that madness, and this is all related to driving, is something that we as a community, as a state, and as a nation must address, because, as Brother Ford has said, there's too much blood left in the street. And these people, not only do they hit you, they keep going. Some have warrants on them. Some are, like he said, under the influence of alcohol or drugs, etc. So this is a collective. This must be a collective effort.
Agreed. Definitely. And the second part of that, in my opinion, the police personnel needs to be increased, and a traffic team needs to be put together, because currently it just appears that there is a lot of attention paid to downtown as it relates to police protection, which results in more officers downtown than within the community, and I really resent that.
I want to add too. I like that term that you use, a traffic team, because we know that within the police department they have the vice squad, bunco, and all those other divisions. And I like what you said. A traffic team, their job exclusively is to monitor people who run red lights,
Right.
and other traffic violations, because if there's nothing visible to deter it, then it just doesn't stop. It won't stop unless there's an actual visual deterrent. And as Brother Ford said, pay a fine, pay a higher fine, impound the car, community service. All of these become, in my opinion, deterrents for people to not, to consider their actions and be punished if they don't follow through on their actions.
Absolutely. And if the community realizes that the traffic team through the police department is there to assist, there to enforce the laws, then they'll be having more confidence in the police department.
Well, actually, and a lot of people, they don't really understand. We need more police in Detroit. We need probably more money. That will not escape my delivery in Lansing. We need just a little bit more money. We need a little bit more funding. We need what they call just a special observation here down in the city of Detroit. We need more money. As I say, we need the city planner, the mayor, and all them to focus in on this. That is why we're going to Lansing. We're not going to Lansing just to go to Lansing. We're going there to get something done. We're going there to plant a seed. We're going there to focus. If they had have done this in the Flint water crisis, we might not have had it. We are going to focus in on that. Now, I want to say one very important thing. A lot of us like to sit back and say, oh, well, he should do this, and oh, he should do that. I'm going to give you this phone number one more time, 586-918-3061. If you have any input, or you would like to do something, or you would like to just express your opinion of maybe things that can happen, or whatever, I accept whatever you say. But don't stand back and say what should have been done. Get in and let's get involved and get it done. Now, I want to bring one thing. Years ago, Chief Sitting Bull told the Indians when they were going to deal with General Custer, look here, it's going to be a good day to make our name be heard. It's going to be a good day to let whatever happen, happen there. And we're going to make it happen. And that's what's going to have to happen. We're going to get together and we're going to deal with the outcome after. And it's going to be very nice time, a very nice time. And if you want to pick up the stick on September 19th and take over what I'm planning, let's do that. I thank you for listening to me say what I'm saying. I'm very straightforward and open to suggestions.
And there may be some who are tuned in who will have some suggestions, and will call you. And there are good suggestions out there, I'm sure. And there may be some people who don't understand the need for this or the reason for this. And there's indeed a very serious reason to stop our people from dying
And I want to add,
unnecessarily.
we know how time has wings. We have already gotten to the top of the hour.
Oh,
So
goodness.
we've got to take that pause for the cause.
Oh, yes. And we'll be back momentarily.
Hello, I'm James Ford. I survived the red light runner. But will you? You know, Michigan has had 1,123 auto accident deaths a year. That's 21 per week. We know Detroit alone has 156 deaths, and that equals 3 a week. Those stats do not include the 550 people that are crippled and disabled a month. At 12 noon, September 18th, 2024, people in Detroit and other cities in Michigan will meet in Lansing, state capital, and complain about red light running, drag racing, and hallucinated driving. Yes, bring your lawn chairs. September 18th, Detroit and all Michigan cities will ask legislatures to enforce and enact laws that will stop drag racing and red light running and hallucinated driving. You know, this is not different than the Flint water crisis. People are dying. Join us Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. If you like, call 586-918-3061 for more information. Drag racing, red light running, hallucinated driving, it must stop. Stand up, September 18th. Call and share your input. Call 586-918-3061 or call 701-301-3118. Also, again, people of all nationalities, express your input and ideas at 586-918-3061 or 701-301-3118 to stop drag racing, red light running, and hallucinated driving. Thank you, and God bless everybody. Thank you.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
This is Theo Broden from Feedback. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Your radio is now on TV. Your TV is now on radio. WHPR 88.1 FM can now be heard and seen worldwide. The same platform that hosts all of your favorite content now has WHPR TV and radio. Have your own radio or TV show on Roku with approximately 8 million homes. Debut your music video, clothing line, church ministry, plays, or products. A limited number of slots are available, so act now. For more information, visit RokuDetroit.com or call 313-868-6612. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku Detroit Worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broten,
And I am the BDM Pina,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback. And we are back. That was a an excellent commercial you just witnessed, and a very serious commercial about a very serious issue. And we have as our guest this morning James Ford, a man who is very passionate about making a difference. And we encourage you to join us on Wednesday, September the 18th for the drive or ride to Lansing to address the legislators and to ask if they can look into their budget and make sure that whatever they can do will add to the funds in the city of Detroit so that more officers can be hired. We do need a traffic team urgently, ASAP. Tabidi?
Yes, I agree. One of the things that Brother Ford said, and all of it was valid, but I'm thinking too along the lines of how no matter where you're at in this state, and actually in this country, because I was out of town over the weekend, I was in D.C., I saw the same type of disregard for traffic signals. People, I don't know if it's impatient. It's a lot of factors, so we can't narrow it down to one. There are a lot of factors that are involved, and so it can be, as you say, hallucinated or drunk driving, because both of them are impaired driving. And I do believe we have a caller on the line, so we'll let them join in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, caller, you're on the air. Would you give us your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Hello.
Hello, caller, we're on the air.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear your voice.
Something wrong with your phone, or is it my phone?
Okay, we can hear you. Just talk, please. Okay, call back, and here we go. Can you hear us now? Caller?
Must be something wrong with their phone. I can hear it.
Can you hear us now? Okay. We'll work that out. We'll work it out, but do call in. Let me, at this point, also give the phone numbers once again. Area code 313-365-7327 or 365-7379. You can call in. Very important topic that affects us all. Caller, you're on the air.
Just talk.
Caller, you're on the air. Yes.
Yes. Talk to us.
Something wrong with their phone.
Caller, you on the
Can
air?
y'all hear me?
Yes, caller, talk to him.
Yes. We can hear you. Say what you called to share.
Hello? Caller, can you hear us?
Hang up and then tell the person if they call in, and just count to 5 and then say whatever they have to say. If you call in, and just go ahead and share whatever you call to say. Okay.
And let's just say this is for all callers. Those who are listening, know that when you call in, we'll be able to hear you. So continue and make whatever statement you have, and then we'll address it. And as I said, in the meantime, I was in D.C. and I noticed the same type of violations. But this has gone from just casual red light running to epidemic, because it seems like the more people, this is my opinion, it seems like the more people see other people run red lights, they feel emboldened to do the same thing themselves. It's like, well, why should I wait? And they go. And whether, they don't really, some don't care whether it's traffic or not. Some may sit there for a few seconds, the light is red, they make sure it's clear, and they go. But in either case, it's a traffic violation. Caller, you're on the air once again.
Hello? I can barely hear you.
Okay, talk to us.
Yes, go ahead. Speak.
I hear. Okay, I'm just going to give an announcement. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yes.
But Blackinaw Island, we're going to be over there at Agnes, May the 25th, Saturday, It starts up about 2 to 3, so make sure y'all participate in the Black and Nile Island, May the 25th. And you can call Lori at 313-492-6774 for details, 492-6774. She's also saying on the 24th they're going to do a caravan, and they're going to Coleman Young's grave, and that's going to be on the 24th about 1 o'clock. So you can call for details. All right, I'm going to hang up because I can't hear anything. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sly Stone, we did hear you. Thank you for calling in. We did hear you. Okay. You know, Mr. Ford, you were sharing that at the churches they should have a prayer breakfast on Tuesday. If they feel that they should get a larger participation Sunday after church, do it Sunday after church.
Well-
or whatever you do, encourage the people to participate on Wednesday, September 18th.
I'm gonna put it like this. Any entity, I'm talking about proactive group, pastor, city organization, or whatever, this is the time to step up. This is the time to say something. I'm gonna give you people a situation that I was in up in Lansing. I went to Lansing, and the lady, I was trying to get September 17th. She called me back and said, Mr. Ford, I think you should take September 18th because it's on a Wednesday, and most of our legislators are going to be there. She switched the date for me so that I would get more recognition. Doesn't that tell us that they want us to come? I wanted the Tuesday. She told me, I think somebody already took September 17th, but I know she switched it because I just talked to her a minute ago. She wanted me to take September 18th. She wants us there. There's a situation that you want to be able to look back and say in years, yes, I was a part of that. I got it done. I took off from work. I did everything I could because you do not want to face the consequences of something happening and say that you didn't try. This is all about trying. This is more or less you as a person saying that you've had enough. And there's a syndrome, and I'm glad I didn't forget this. There's a syndrome called the imposter syndrome. People have it in marriages. They have it in housing. They have it in their jobs. They figure they can't do any better. They figure they're stuck. They can't go anywhere. A lot of people go through bad marriages, just take getting beat. And it don't have to be the husband beating the wife. Some wives are beating husbands, believe it or not. You've got some people that are being suppressed, and they just think that they can't do any better. So they put up with anything. The imposter syndrome is here right now in Detroit, and we got to shed that. We got to tell ourselves, this is not normal. We're not going to take it anymore. And this is what we're going to do. It's a syndrome where you think, they open the doors sometime to jails. And people don't walk out because they've been there so long. Sometimes people are in the hospital so long and they get well, they tell them, well, you can go home. I don't want to go home. I'm used to this. Well, this is where we are with this red light running in track. You think it's normal. My elderly people, you do not have to go home at 5 o'clock and cover up and run anymore. You can go to Lansing and bring this out. Some of you people that have children, You don't have to hide anymore and just hope your kids don't get hit in the back of that car. You don't have to do that. There is a syndrome that we got to shed. We do not have to live like this. We're living like this because we want to.
And let me add this. Theo and I were talking about how things were on our way to the studio, as a matter of fact. We were talking about how things in our generation and the generations that were before us, we didn't have these issues. I mean, we've had red lights since the, 1917s, 20s, or whatever. But we haven't had these issues. But all of a sudden, in the last maybe 5 to 10 years, we have had this rampant running of red lights. We've had road rage. We've had all kind of traffic issues. And it makes me wonder sometimes, you know, I'm no spring chicken at all. I got a few gray hairs, so I've been here for a minute. But I look at how things were as I grew up, and even as a young adult man and a middle-aged man, I looked at how things were. And then I see, well, like, which way are we going? Now, going to Lansing is the right move. You know, I just kind of threw that in there. But it's a fact. You know, where were we and how did we get where we're at? And are we going to allow and permit these things to continue? Because the world is definitely going the wrong way. And when we're on the road, every one of us is subject to it. I've brought this up before in the past, but I remember having I'll never forget it because I could have died or been seriously injured. Going west on Puritan, it's 2 o'clock in the morning or so. The light is green. I'm approaching it 20 or 30 feet away, but something made me hesitate, which I tend to do anyway. Had I not hesitated and looked both ways, there was a car who could care less about the fact that it was a stale red light, which means it had been red for a while. This individual did not care. They blew through there at a good 60, 70 miles an hour. They were going north. Had I continued west on Puritan, having the green light, they would have T-boned my car. They would have hit me directly. It wouldn't have been a rear or a front hit, which you may survive, but they would have came right into my driver's door. So that awoke me. Now, again, as I say, I tend to stop at red light. When I have the light, I'll still stop. That's just my nature. But I think that reinforced in me the fact that don't just trust the fact that you can go through because you got the green light, because there's a lot of people who just don't intend to obey it. Whatever they're on some madness, and we could be the victims of it. And if it's hit and run, they'll keep on going. They'll show us on the 11 o'clock news and say a car was hit at Greenfield and Puritan, and at the same time, we still don't have any clue as to who was the driver, but, you know, maybe there's a car part. They said, well, it looks like it was a Dodge Charger or whatever that blew through the light, because maybe there's a piece of the car that was left there. This is very serious. And again, the fact that I could have been killed, and I think about that, has made me better. And what we have to do is let the legislature know, because any one of them or their families or neighbors could be victimized the same way.
Also, I want to say this. On the bottom of the flyer, there's a picture of myself. I was pulled out of that car. The girl that hit me, I don't know what she was on. But anyway, she had children in the back of the car that was not strapped down, and that's why she fled the accident. Mm-hmm. And I want everybody to understand that I laid out for about 2 or 3 minutes from what they say. And I thought I was gone until I was looking for the seatbelt and felt the coldness of the seatbelt. You don't want to be in that situation, because my car could have caught on fire. Another car could have actually hit me. And the person that did that, they just kept going. And you never know, it could be in the night where nobody can pull you out the car. So it's just time. It's time that we do something. Also, the night before September 18th, it's a little different places in the community, whatever you have, September 17th, the night of September 7th. You want to have a little gathering or something and talk about Lansing? You going? You want to think about groups that's going, proactive groups, community groups, church groups? Get together and do that. But come on up. But I will say this. Right now, the tickets to get on the bus is $35. I've been warned, and I'm straightforward. I've been warned by the company, Mr. Ford. We cannot hold this price of $35 forever. It'd be better for you. It would be easier for you to just get on that bus and come on. Just give me a call, make a way. You can send me the money after you talk to me and get on that bus and make everything easy for you. This is what I'm saying. Community groups get together the night of the 17th and talk about how you going to come up there, how you going to arrange, how you going to sit down. Bring your lawn chairs. We're going to try to make this a moment that we can look back at. You think about people that did things in this country, in this city, and everywhere. The only thing you're doing is saying that you want to make a moment in history. You want to be recognized. And you want to say that you were a part of it. This is what we have to do. You don't want to be hit by 3,000 pounds and not know where you at.
Yeah. And not hit by 3,000 pounds to make you want to go to Lansing. You should want to go to Lansing for prevention. Prevention.
Now, I want to give Mr. Ford's phone number again, and I also want to suggest to some of you, because there are those who have health issues and such where travel may not be good for them, but let me suggest this too. Pay that $35 and sponsor somebody else to go in your place. I guess they call that a proxy or something like that. You can pay to have somebody ride that bus there because, you know, many of our people, particularly when you get over 50, that type of thing, you might have some health issues or challenges, but you can still sponsor someone. So the phone number again to contact Mr. Ford is area code 586-918-3061. Again, that phone number is area code 586-918-3061. If you can't make it, sponsor somebody. $35 round trip. You don't have to worry about where you're going to park because you're traveling in a situation where you can get dropped off right at the state capitol and then take care of business, and you know that you got to ride back. So I'm saying that to one and all. Sponsor someone.
Business owners, I would see business owners, people that don't, you can take that off your taxes. You can write that off your taxes. And just sponsor somebody. You got two or three customers that come there all the time. They've been with you 20, 30 years, whatever. You just sponsor them. If you can't go, you want your business to stay open that day, you sponsor somebody because that is important. And then the other thing that we haven't even talked about, what if we go and your car, and over the years, a few years, your car insurance is lowered. You are paying the highest car insurance in the nation. People in California and New York, which have per capita more people than Detroit, are paying less car insurance. You are paying it because people are blowing red lights here and things bad are happening. Just think if your car insurance get lowered as a result of this. This is what you have to think about. And I want everybody to understand this. There's no way that I will go to Lansing and I'm not going to mention, I'm not going to be the only person talking. We need more money here. So, need more police. We can have a whole complete turnaround. So let's think about this and let's think serious about it.
And I would just say as well that What we want to do is sort of like with your health and many other things, your home, etc. Preventive maintenance. Let's stop it before it spreads. Whether let's say cancer. You just think about things that if you do something ahead of time, then you cut it off before it gets worse. Right. This is what we're doing. We're thinking about preventive maintenance, preventive action, because when you don't, things can only get worse. I mean, that's just the nature of it.
Right. Here in the city of Detroit, we have a police commission, and the police commission is made up of residents who have oversight over the police department. They meet every Thursday, unless it's Thanksgiving, or if perhaps Christmas were to fall on a Thursday. But anyway, 1 week of each month, they meet out in the community in the evening at 6 p.m. The other meetings are from 3 p.m. on a couple of hours. And if you want to speak to them, you need to be at the location at least 20 minutes in advance so that you can fill out the card and you can be called to address the police commission. They're made up of 11 people. 4 are the appointment by the mayor. The others are elected police commissioners. Someone has suggested that the timing of the spokes of the city of Detroit, and I talk about it because the downtown area actually is a copy of the land set up in Washington, D.C. It's like a wagon wheel. Jefferson being the base, Grand River, Michigan, Woodward, and Gratiot being the spokes that fan out from downtown. Anyway, at one time, some years ago, during rush hour traffic in the morning, the middle lane, the turning lanes, were turned into a freeway type. In the afternoon rush hour traffic, they were freeway type, the turning lanes going away from downtown. That has been eliminated, but it may be something to consider again to address the drivers that have just gotten out of hand. But that is something that we need to have attention to. The police commission. 7 of them are elected, 4 of them are appointed. So there's something you wanted to say, James Ford?
Yes, I want to say, when I walked in, I'm going to squeeze this in. You can jump back. I just want to squeeze this in. I'm also dealing with some of our young people are misled. We know, and I'm talking about voting. I'm going to say this real quick. If you have any thing about voting, you want to vote for Trump, how can you vote? I'm talking, people get on the phone, call your young people, get them, tell them, pastors, have you some sock hops or whatever you want to have, or they used to call, and get to our young people. Our young people don't know. They're talking about voting for a man that didn't even want to rent to black people. Him and his father, back in the years when his father was working together, he had 5 black boys almost killed in New York, and they were jailed.
The Central Park 5.
Yeah. And how you going to vote for a guy that's instrumental in encouraging other states not to even give a person a drink of water if they in the voting line and they thirsty? I want to know, how can you even think about voting for somebody? Those are 3 things. How can you? And I'm going to say this, and then how can, if you vote for Trump, your grandmama, and I'll say this, maybe I shouldn't say it on radio.
Say it.
If you vote for Trump, your mama and your grandmama and your relatives and father going to suffer, because he's going to hit that Social Security and we going to be in trouble. So you can go on, if you're young and think you know everything and you done watch this little false stuff on the news, your grandparents gonna suffer. So grandparents, find that grandson. Mama, daddy, find that son and I'm saying call other states, you do not want to deal with what's getting ready to happen. That man has 91 counts, and we in jail and been beat, and we didn't even have a count. And you're going to vote for him? We've been put in jail, beat, crippled, maimed, put under the jail, drugged down the street, and we didn't have one count. And you're going to vote for somebody that got 91 counts? Please, think about what you're doing, young people.
And we're down to about the last 3.5 or 3 minutes. Here we go, y'all.
All right.
So I know you want to give some hood research information as well, Theo.
Absolutely. I want to encourage all of you to, first of all, join Hood Research. It's $20 a year or $300 for a lifetime membership. Our business is $40 a year or $400 lifetime membership. We have a website. You can go on and see some of the things that we do and have done. We have Twitter. We ask you to follow us on Twitter X, that's what it's called now. The email for Hood Research is contact@hoodresearch.org. Again, that's CONTACT at, the little A with a circle around it, HOODRESEARCH.org. That's contact@hoodresearch.org. The phone number for Hood Research is area code 248-234-2371. Again, the telephone number is area code 248-234-2371. I say at the end of our show, you know, it's not necessary for you to know everything. What is necessary is for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. We at Hood Research seek out as much information as we can, and we share it with you and encourage you to share with us. The meeting?
Yes, two things. One, we're going to show the commercial that James Ford did on this. I think it's excellent. And as I always say at the end of every show, prior to saying, shout out to my niece for graduating from
Yay!
Howard Law School. And my last statement is, if you want to be nothing, do nothing. But the only problem with doing nothing is you never know when you finish. And we want to thank our guest, James Ford, and ask you to keep tuned because this is an excellent commercial. It defines everything that we're trying to accomplish.
Right. And join our conference call on Saturdays from 3 to 6.
Hello, I'm James Ford. I survived the red light runner. But will you? You know, Michigan has had 1,123 auto accident deaths a year. That's 21 per week. We know Detroit alone has 156 deaths, and that equals 3 a week. Those stats do not include the 550 people that are crippled and disabled a month. At 12 noon, September 18th, 2024, people in Detroit and other cities in Michigan will meet in Lansing, state capital, and complain about red light running, drag racing, and hallucinated driving. Yes, bring your lawn chairs. September 18th, Detroit and all Michigan cities will ask legislatures to enforce and enact laws that will stop drag racing and red light running and hallucinated driving. You know, this is not different than the Flint water crisis. People are dying. Join us Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. If you like, call 586-918-3061 for more information. Drag racing, red light running, hallucinated driving, it must stop. Stand up, September 18th. Call and share your input. Call 586-918-3061 or call 701-301-3118. Also, again, people of all nationalities, express your input and ideas at 586-918-3061. 3061 or 701-301-3118 to stop drag racing, red light running, and hallucinated driving. Thank you, and God bless everybody. Thank you.
Feedback. Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am the BDM Pinda,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback. Feedback. Feedback.